that was a great purchase.
That was great.
And that adrenaline rush of not only getting this awesome book, but also creating value by pressing and cleaning it. And a 6.0, you know, it's like it doubled in value at that point. And and then I take this ASM1 Spider-Man #1, and I actually make a decision at that point, and I sell it off, and I tell myself, I'm gonna kind of support this consignment page that I had started, and I'm like, I'm just gonna use that money, and that's the money I'm gonna put into the business, and I'm gonna see what happens.
I love that. That's awesome.
So that is, what's that, Steve?
So what happened?
So, yeah, exactly. The money's gone.
All of this.
Worst
I'm assuming
decision I ever made. But anyways, my answer's a little long-winded, so I'll skip to the end. So I do eventually, I'm like, I got that Spider-Man 1 just got me into the Silver Age, and I got it because at that time, that's what I was comfortable with. But as I got more comfortable and I learned more, I was like, man, Spider-Man 1 is nice, but I got to get an Amazing Fantasy 15 because I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. In comics, like, that's my guy. So I go out and I get a 1.5, really low grade AF-15. I love it, and I just cherish that book.
That's awesome.
But I made a mistake. I sold it. I sold it too early, and I just thought it was great. I don't know why I did it. I thought I could just get another one. It didn't work out. So it took, I was like, I really got to get an AF-15 back in the building. So something I never thought I would actually own through this long story I'm telling, but this is my favorite book. This AF-15 4.5 off-white to white. This thing has no chipping. Like, this,
really right.
It's gorgeous.
That long story, it kind of ended here, and this is the one that I put away just kind of to have it. So,
oh my God.
So this is the first appearance of Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So I'm going to question, Ollie, real quick. The journey from that ASM1 to that AF15, how long? A couple of years, 3 years?
From picking up the ASM1 to selling it off?
And to getting your AF15. How long was that journey?
I think I had the ASM1. I think I waited about a year and a half, 2 years to press it, and then it became like the upgrade. And then at that time I was like, what should I do? I should invest in this business I kind of started. And then I just decided, you know what? As much as I love that book, like, I'm going to use it. I'm going to put it to good use. That's going to be my investment into this business. And then whatever happens, happens. And so I let it go. And then, about 8 months later, things were going well. And I was like, I need to get a beater copy of AF-15 just to say I have one. And then, it went from there. So a few years, Steve.
Okay. So that's not too long to get such a great piece there, to get a book that will just never leave your hands. You're going to have to pry that book out of your hands.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say, and Jamie, I think you'll probably relate to this, is, if you love a book, like I love this AF-15, like, listen, if you ever sell it, like, and just don't have regrets, man. Like, if you're going to get an upgrade, get the upgrade first, and then sell off your lower rate. Like, do not sell off the one you love until you know that you got that upgrade or whatever. Because when you want these books to show up, they are hard to find. They never show up when you want them to show up. So that would be my advice. Yeah,
I mean, there are plenty of copies of AF-15 out there, obviously, if you have the means. But when you spend that kind of money, you're going to look for certain criteria. It's not going to be the same for everybody. I want white paper.
For sure.
Perfect center, whatever it is. Once you find the copy, that copy that's mine, just remember, it's going to be hard to replace that copy for the exact same thing.
Sure.
I've got a million Todd McFarlane signatures, but the one that I'll have forever is the color that I love, the exact size that I love, the placement of that signature. It's going to be hard to find that exact thing again. So yeah, great advice. You know, don't let anything go.
That's very good advice, seriously, because it's always the way you sell it and then you can't replace it. It's always that when you're selling it, everyone has one for sale. The minute you're looking to buy it, oh, we don't have that anymore. Oh, that's a number 5 book. You're like, oh, are you serious? Oh, that's just, how did that work out?
And the worst situation is to go around beating on the bushes saying, hey, do you got this book? Do you got it? Because then, I mean, everyone, Jamie, you know, everyone's going to freaking try to take advantage of you at that point.
Yep. That's when they start upping the price on you and stuff. Yep.
I don't want to beat the
I hear that.
Saw that 4-color 16. Let me know.
Ooh.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right into your personal collection. It was like, but if you get rid of that one, hell yeah. I know that. That's good. I love that. I love that.
You know?
All right, so let me put the host cap on just real quick because I want to hear Steve's story. So, Steve, the topic today is what's the book that got you hooked? So what's your answer to that, Steve Minor Keys?
I'll try to keep it short. You know, that's difficult for me. But I'll tell you this. I'm a child I'm similar to age, and I think I've got about 6 or 7 years on you. So right around 13, 14 years old, that's a Superman. And image covers and variant covers and all that stuff. And my dad was like really into it. And he said, let's go look for this. And he would just spend all of his money, multiple copies, all these foils. And I'd go with them, and I, you know, obviously would be interested because they're nice, they're embossed and they're graphic and all this. One day I remember walking over to the back issues, and I reached in, and I remember it like it was yesterday, and I pulled out a book, and it was ASM 48, Amazing Spider-Man number 48. It was the Vulture's wing up there, and Spider-Man kind of on the side of the building.
Okay.
And I said, what is this? This is beautiful to me. And my dad said, put that back. It's garbage. That's old.
Oh, okay.
I love it.
About 14 short boxes behind me of my dad's collection from the 90s. I don't think anybody would give me $200 for 12 short boxes of that stuff. But I was lucky enough to just be, but this is the art form that I love. This is what I'm drawn to. I'm into Spider-Man. So I level up, and I paid $5 for it. It was $5, which was coincidentally the cover price of every single 90s book back then. You know, $4.95, $95, and I was like, well, for the same price, book from 1968, I believe. And I was like, this is it, what I want to do. So I started gravitating to the back issue bins, thankfully. And then I went to college and I moved around, and I got lucky because I left all my books at Mom's house. And I say that I'm lucky because I don't have any access to them, out of sight, out of mind. Oh yeah, look, girls. I see a girl that's kind of interested in, you know, so I don't think about the comic books anymore. Then I get back into it later. So the reason I tell you that part is because I'm actually lucky enough to have the actual books here. Same books. So
the pedigree, Steve, Minor Keys, that's the actual book. That's the first Silver Age you bought?
It's the first non-90 book that I've ever purchased, and this is the exact same book.
Wow.
And I can tell the exact
Great
same
colors.
Because eventually, a few years later, I got John Romita signed it for me, and it says, to Steve, John Romita. So
that's beautiful.
I have some bigger books. I don't have a Hulk 1/7 of White Pages. I have some bigger books. This would be the book that will go on top of me in the coffin, like this.
Yeah.
This is no matter what I have, the book that nobody can ever get from me.
That is awesome, man. Thanks for
that. Is
awesome.
I probably paid $10 or $15 for this one.
First King.
And then
Kingpin.
I got Romita to sign this one for me as well. And it even has the certificate of authenticity from 1994.
That's cool.
And then
I love that.
Favorite book that Romita signed. I could only afford $5 and $10 copies of the Silver Age stuff, so I got this one. And the problem with this book, the reason why it was so cheap was I think I paid $3 or $4 for this. The problem was somebody took blue pen, and colored in Spider-Man's eyes. So when I handed this book to John Romita, and I told him, I said, too bad that somebody colored the eyes in. He said, oh, I'll take care of that. And then he colored the eyes.
That's cool.
Awesome.
So yeah, Romita took the same silver ink pen and colored in the eyes of Spider-Man.
Now it's remarked.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
remarked.
was gonna say it went from a defect to a remark. That's great. Yeah, that worked out well.
And don't forget
Brad.
certificate of authenticity. So and then I just
Very
kept
cool.
looking, and when I tell you that I was hooked, I was hooked. I would do every job that I could find. I would grab $20, $30, and I would just save up everything. Fast forward to about 3 years later, I saved up $1,000 because I had a goal that I have to have Spider-Man's first appearance. I have to. So I had $1,000. I went to a comic show in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, South Florida. I went to a comic show in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. $1,000, and I said I'm gonna find an Amazing Fantasy 15. So I find one, and I was like, Mom, I love it, and I said I'm not taking $1 less than $1,200. So my mom looked at me and she said, "You're gonna owe me every birthday, everything for the next 5 years. Here's $100," and then I walked away with it.
Look at this.
That's awesome.
That's
So-
nice.
I purchased this when I was 15 years old for $1,200.
Wow.
Shout out to moms for making it happen. That's what's up. Love moms. Moms are always there in time. That's what's
Did you give her
up.
the
Hey, let me-
200 back?
Yeah. He said he still owe her that 200. So that's
Once I sell this, and I think I can probably double my money on it for $2,400. If I sell it, I will give my mom the $200 back.
Well, Mom, if your mom's watching, I will
Oh,
buy it for. I will double Steve's money right now on the air, and he can.
Me
give
too.
you
I'll
Yeah.
give her all these money.
yeah. We all want to ante up on it. Oh man, that's
So,
great.
so hold on, Steve. So you got that for. So you and your mom combined, you paid $1,200 for that. I want to just say, I've known you for years now. I knew that you had that book, and every time I'm like, "Hey, you should get it pressed and clean." Like, get it pressed and clean. You always told me no, because then I'd kind of be that much closer to selling it. And I never knew the backstory until today. Like, I never knew
That's
why you
great.
were so protective of that book.
Yeah, and
So
I know that there's some advantages for conservation, obviously, that it's not just
Mhm.
like this. And I understand that, don't get me wrong. But nah, I don't need this. I don't need this to somebody to tell me that it's got color touch on it. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
that,
This is
yeah,
my
no,
book.
I hear you on that. I was gonna ask. I was gonna say, do you like not enjoy graded comics? Because some people don't like graded comics. They're like, well, they're encapsulated. I can't read them. And I'm like, well, it's where it turns into an investment point, and it's like it's art, and it's already in a frame, and you go back and forth, and they're like, I don't get it. And you're like, okay, but I just wondered if but I get you though, because that's another thing too. When you buy comics and they're raw, you never really know the page quality. And there's been a bunch of times where stuff like that'll happen, and it'll be color touch, and it's just people doing what we used to do as kids. Oh, fix those chips. Let me see that marker, and and you had no idea that slowly down the line, someone's gonna buy that and be like, "What do you mean color touch? I paid full price for that damn thing." Well, sorry, that's how it goes.
I mean, I pretty much slab everything, but there's some books that have like Jack Davis signature,
Yeah,
Ellison signature. You want to look at those signatures. You want to open the book.
sure they're real.
And
Yeah,
just check them out, look at them once in a while. So I don't slab those books. Pretty much everything else I slab.
Yeah.
So,
is it because the SIGs are on the inside of the book? Is that why you won't slab them so you can
because
see
writers
them?
would only sign the inside of the book. They wouldn't sign
So
work that's
weird.
not theirs.
Mhm.
So I mean, nowadays they sign everything. But,
For sure. Yeah. That's awesome, though. I have a few books like that where they're signed on the inside, and I always wondered that. Why would you sign on the inside and not where you could see it on the cover? And it's like, well, you would always be able to take it out of the bag. Or, well, a bag and a backboard? What's that? These are for reading. Like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, all
I
right.
love
I mean,
that.
a lot of artists just felt like, that's their piece of work, and how,
And you-
they felt like,
yeah.
kind of defacing it by just signing on it. And so,
This is true.
I got some cherished, like, Jack Kirby signatures, and they are pretty much all on the first page, interior splash page.
Yeah.
Like, that's where he would sign. So
That's awesome. That's
I've
cool.
Times I looked at my books and found surprise signatures.